Welcome to Marine Tech Talk, a podcast about how Teledyne Marine's innovative technologies are enabling scientific discoveries and commercial tasks in the world's oceans and waterways. In this episode of Marine Tech Talk, we continue our conversation with John Taylor and Ahmed Ragab from SITECH Gulf, along with Emad Javaid from Teledyne Marine, as we chat about the new partnership between SITECH and Teledyne Marine in the Middle East. Learn about the new collaboration supporting some of the largest marine projects in the world and how they have created a new service center to meet all of their clients' needs. Now, here is the host of Marine Tech Talk, Rhonda Moniz.
All right, so the question that I have and, what comes to mind is, John, you've now formed a partnership at SITECH with Teledyne Marine, and you also have the ability to hot swap systems and equipment. So could you talk a little bit more about that and give us some more detail maybe about how that works and what that means for your clients? Also, what kind of equipment is available and what the turnaround time is?
Yeah. This really goes to our focus of customer support as a primary objective that we have. As when we started SITECH, there was very little machine control on the land in the Middle East. We had to have some way to convince customers that we're going to be with them all the time and that they would be constantly having no downtime for this. So what we did is we developed a hot swap program. So if a customer purchased a complete machine control system from us, for example, and they had a problem, maybe they damaged one of the receivers, or maybe it was a rare warranty issue, we would replace that broken product with one of our own to make sure that they were constantly working, no downtime. We would rush that out no later than 24 hours, but often it was more like 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on the location, because we do have stock in 3 different countries as well. So this hot swap program gave the customer the easing of their fears if they took the bullet and went with technology. So what we did is we started, and then obviously it's on a lot of our land, all of our land equipment, but now we are rolling it out for marine equipment, and to really a great response from those people as well. Again, this downtime is so expensive on the marine world, and if we can get them up and running in 24 hours, they're going to come back to us next time for the same products.
Absolutely. I think it's just as important is the product. You want products to be reliable, but things happen. I mean, anybody that's especially in the marine field, will tell you that things happen, and to have that support and to be able to swap out and have something like that available to your clients is really amazing. Emad or Ahmed, do you want to add to any of that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, just a quick one from my side. Certainly, it's such an excellent program. Obviously, part of the support also increases the customer's confidence, because a lot of times what happens is that a customer may be using a certain competition for years on end, and this is basically a great icebreaker that we can propose these kind of things. And again, this comes with the strength of having our partners like SITECH, putting in stock locally, regionally, which is just excellent. From an OEM side, really gives me the comfort in knowing that our customers are basically well serviced for.
Excellent. By the way, speaking of, I wanted to congratulate you guys at SITECH on being the #1 cat dealer. So you've consolidated cat dealers in the region. So why is that important anyway?
Hey, really, it's fantastic to be part of such an outstanding organization as Al-Bahar. I've been with them now 10 years when they brought me over to start the SITECH, and it's just been fantastic. And really, the company's reputation precedes itself on any visits. We can walk into nearly any company in the Middle East, and they're going to know Al-Bahar's reputation for outstanding customer service and support. They know that any company associated with Al-Bahar will have the resources, the financing, the people to tackle any of the projects that might come up. So, and the existing relationship with Al-Bahar is another a reason that we had such quick relationships with other Caterpillar dealers in the region. They knew who we are, and it was very easy to set up that network to cover the entire region.
Excellent. So, Emad, you're obviously you're with Teledyne Marine, and I was just curious, how do you collaborate with SITECH, and what value do you feel that they bring? I mean, where do you think all of this is going in the future in that region?
Yeah, so we basically, I personally, collaborate very closely with the SciTech team. Just to give you an example, every week on Monday mornings at 9:30 a.m. we have a quick chat with the sales team, with Ahmed, with John, and the biggest greatest thing about this thing is this sort of like relationship is the trust. We're really open in discussing not only the wins but the losses, the problems, because it is a partnership, and it's in its truest sense should mean that, right? So basically, it means supporting our partners, understanding the challenges, and of course helps the company that having somebody in the region, because a lot of times challenges don't get translated across time zones, across oceans, as it were, right? We have different, let's say, downtime here. As an example, in the Middle East, Ramadan is a slow period. The summer is a slow period, whereas somewhere else that could be a different thing. So we work really closely with SciTech. I personally basically talk to these guys almost every day, multiple times, and this just brings in a lot of value to the business because there is trust, and we can talk about issues, we can talk about problems on the fly, we can be, and obviously, how do we solve them? Now, where do I see the region? Where do I see the business? My personal vision for the future is that I want to see Teledyne Marine, SciTech Gulf, basically, continue increasing our market share in the region, becoming really the biggest supplier in the region of technologically superior marine solutions. It's not just products. We have great products, but now we are working on the next big step, which is bringing in our technology as part of bigger marine solutions, right? We're currently working on some case studies with some premium customers here in the region with regards to dredging, things like that. So it is really about the bigger picture, right? And if we continue to do this, I think it is a winning partnership. I think it is a winning arrangement, and really the sky is the limit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff going on for sure. So, Ahmed, you guys have been really busy at SciTech in that region. Can you give us a couple of examples of projects that I know you've been hands-on the ground, boots on the ground, if you will, or in the trenches? Can you give us some examples of projects that you've supported with Teledyne Marine equipment?
Yeah, actually, we have a lot more than a couple, but I'll bring up the ones that are our favorite, actually. And I think on the top of the list, we got the Beirut Eastern Marina breakwater. It was in Lebanon back in 2017. Actually, it was the key project back then. It was our first major milestone into the marine journey, and we upgraded 7 Trimble GCS 900s. It's the basic standard system for excavations, with the first ever sold TMC license, right after the announcement between Trimble and Teledyne on the TMC, before it even hit the store. That project, I was there myself, and the project basically is running on a grant. It's running on a tight budget, idle time due to the muddy water on the inside, and the rough sea on the outer side of the project killed the project progress. I remember the project manager complaining about the waiting days on the diver jumps and the survey boat data to just resume working, putting heavy weight, of course, on all the project deliverables and outputs. When I did the first presentation, from the first slide, when I showed them the simulation of the TMC and the live feed with the real-time as built, the deal was sealed. The customer from the first system that been upgraded got rewarded with a 24 hours operations, catching their deadline and really improving their outputs and results, cutting a lot of money and saving a lot of money on the personnel on the site and the survey boat and the equipment and the divers. I think this project was really a differentiation point for us. We truly experienced the difference of an algorithm behind an interface, what it could make to the customer in that transaction. Another project would be Yeah, that one is Mr. John's favorite. It's the Deep Dive Dubai. Actually, Deep Dive Dubai has earned the title of the deepest pool in the world. This is one of a kind type of project. It's actually our signature dish, let's say, with an oomph, and
Wow.
60 meters depth pool. And our Z boat, the Teledyne Z boat, was the best possible instrument that could attend to the site and enable them to confirm 60.02 meter depth under the supervision of multiple local ministries and many VIPs from all over the globe.
That's pretty amazing.
We got also, I think it meant it it's worth mentioning the Palm because we also use the Z-boat in there, and due to the challenging environment at the draft, it's a very super shallow water. I think everybody know the Palm, right? So those islands are very shallow, and you have a 1 meter draft. And going around those islands would require a combination between a manual near-shore survey and a survey boat in the inside and between the islands. And we really help the contractor and the consultant to enable them to do the work in a lot faster way than the traditional way that they used to do.
Wow.
Briefly, we did participate in other projects, key projects like the Zohr gas field in Egypt. It's the largest actually gas discovery across the region, and it's been running under ENI. I think you know about ENI, BP, and PMS. So
Hmm.
all the vessels that been supplied by PMS are running with Teledyne gyros. We did really good work at Aramco with Acciona, another Z-boat in there. By the way, the Zohr field is the same field where one of the first Gavi has been deployed by one of the European surveying companies under BP.
Wow.
Um, we've done lots of core lock placement, and we did lots of ports and many good projects.
So we had we had an inquiry from a customer in Egypt. Ahmed knows about this, obviously, being also very closely involved in this, where they were looking to buy a couple of USVs. Right? They've never used a USV before. They've been doing bathymetric surveys manually, and so it was between us and a competition. And I just want to bring this up from a standpoint of why it is important to have great partners with excellent support. So we basically visited them back in June, I think it was, Ahmed, last year in Egypt. It's a great meeting. John was there as well. And so we actually convinced them to come over to Dubai to take a look at the demo, right? Initially, it all was a price discussion, right? But we explained to them the value addedness that they could actually see the actual product in an actual environment, because don't get me wrong, marketing presentations are great, but customers sometimes, seeing is believing, that old thing, right? So the customer came in, SITECH did a demo here so it was basically our Z boat. The customer was excited, they basically approved of it, and that basically led to a great sale to a new customer, and they basically bought two new Z boats, right? So it's an actual case study in going to show that having great partners with great support, being flexible with doing demos for customers, turning things around quickly will lead to success.
Wow. That's great.
I think we can also add the upgrade that we had for the Khalifa port, Ahmad. Remember the
Yeah.
customer needed a higher resolution because they work on both sides. They work on a medium to shallow near the
Yeah.
seawall, and then they also go deep, and they needed a better resolution, and they had constraint on the budget because they didn't plan that, and having them upgrading their T20 to T50 would be basically out of their reach.
Yeah, no, I mean that was another basically great success. As Ahmed said, that the resolution required for them to complete the project was really of an essence, right? And again, us having the local equipment here with the support, and of course, with being able to give the customer to actually get the job done in the field, because Rhonda, it all comes down to how flexible we are, right?
Right.
Um, SciTech, the support, they can actually tell you more on this, but these guys, sometimes they get calls in the middle of the night, right? And this is great. They answer that, and they basically help their customers, right? This is how you make customers for life, right? You can have things going up and down, but if you help a customer when they're down in their downtime, they're gonna get basically, they're gonna stick with you, right?
Right.
So, like I said, I can go on about this partnership, on and on, but I think it's really good having somebody here in the region with excellent support resources. It's having people that understand the business. SITECH Gulf, their sales guys, everybody, great set of guys, right? Excellent, understand the business, understand the customer, and basically, always put the voice of the customer before everything else. So, all good.
Well, there's so many examples of how this relationship with Teledyne Marine and SITECH is really putting the client first, and in so many ways, whether it's support, and support's a big one. I mentioned that earlier when we were chatting. Support's huge, and really being there, as you mentioned, Emad, when they need you, not just when it's, your hours, wherever you are in the world, but when they're down and they have to have, it's a middle of the night type thing. You're right. That's when you make clients and customers for life, because they know that you've got their back, and that's really important. So it's amazing what's going on in the Middle East with Teledyne Marine and the stuff that SITECH is doing. It's all pretty amazing stuff. Now, if they wanted more information about those projects or the support center, or they wanted more information just in general about SITECH, where would they go?
Yeah, we actually have a Facebook page that has become fairly popular, so they can look for us as SITECH Gulf under Facebook. But obviously, our website is a good resource. It's currently being revamped, but we'll get it updated. That's just SITECHGulf.com. And it has a marine section on that also. So anyway, follow us on Facebook. We have another one, SITECH Gulf Marine, also. And on LinkedIn, we have our profile is SITECH Gulf on LinkedIn as well.
And Emad, what if they wanted to learn more about Teledyne Marine's equipment and what's going on with Teledyne Marine in the Middle East, and where would they go to get more information?
They can always call me up, They not, basically, if I'm not sleeping, I'll pick up their phone.
Or they can go to teledynemarine.com.
Oh, they can go to teledynemarine.com. We have a great website, obviously. Lots of products there, lots of information there as well, for sure.
Great.
Yeah, right. People create the difference, right?
Right. Exactly. You nailed it.
I just want to add that I think the level of communication and cooperation between any two entities is what creates the difference. I mean, really, Ahmed is trying his best. We are trying our best. We're getting all the exceptions and budgets and investments in place to make sure that we are up to the bar. And I think we are that's why I said it's the right people. We have the right combination. We have the right combination to make this successful year after year.
Well, it certainly sounds like it. Congratulations, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, I want to just take a minute to thank you for being on Teledyne's Marine Tech Talk today. It's fascinating what's going on in that part of the world. And, like I said in the beginning, you don't really think about marine applications, but apparently there's a lot going on. So it's fascinating. So thanks for taking the time to chat with us today.
Well, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Marine Tech Talk podcast. For more information on SITECH, visit their website at www.scitechgulf.com. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, you can email marinetechtalk@teledyne.com. If you like this podcast, please be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcast or wherever you are listening to the show. That way, you will never miss an episode. Thank you for listening, and we will see you again next time.